Warning, this podcast contains yearly flashbacks.
And cliffhangers.
And absolutely no dancing.
Yes, sir.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Scream Season 1, Episode 10, The Dance. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my lovely co-host, Kim.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Getting down to the wire now. We have one episode.
Dun dun dun.
One episode left.
That's the two-parter and the cliffhanger.
So, what'd you think of this episode?
So I don't know, like at first I was like, okay, so all these questions. I'm like, okay, so who's, the teacher do? Brandon, what's going to come up? What did he do? Is he actually the killer? Brandon. Well, not, or apparently I can't think of Branson. Words, thank you. Anyway, I was like, okay, so this is where we're going to get this. Is he the killer? How is he going to act in the interrogation room? And I was surprised to see. I knew that we were going to have a bit of Emma, but I didn't realize that she was going to be like, I want to be in there by myself. I want to confront him. So again, we continue with Emma, having some balls. So I again continue to like where her story's going, and I don't know, there was a lot, and we have to get a little bit more into Brandon James's story, and we had to meet his mom.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see the flashback 1 year ago in the evidence room of the Lakewood County Municipal Records building, and we got to see the killer sneak in and actually steal some files and steal the mask. Yeah.
I was really I was like, okay, so this is a strange flashback. What the hell's going on? And then it was like, oh, the mask. Oh. And then we get the little bit of the back info. It's like, oh, someone stole the mask. Okay.
Yep. So the killer's definitely male. There was no cleavage on that person who snuck in. Absolutely none. Zero. Zip zilch. If they retcon that now, it better be a flat-chested girl.
But remember, we can still go back to the thought process. There's more than one killer.
Yes, we can, because that's never out of the question with Scream. I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person that has to pause the TV when any kind of piece of paper is on the screen.
I'm not, but what did you find out by pausing for the piece of paper?
The first sheet of paper said there was various students attacked, multiple homicides. One boy survived, which was Kevin Duvall, who was wounded. It said sole survivor, and then down on the bottom it said suspect ? And it was circled. So I was like, So, Kelly's got this piece of paper. Second piece of paper said, need to question the Anderson family. What is the link there? Obtain warrant. And Margaret Anderson, Daisy, knew James. Did she help him? It said, ?
This was... Okay, well, I didn't see that, but that's interesting. Remember that I said I got that vibe last episode? Mm-hmm. Also... I also said I thought, it's the dad, or what we thought we believe is the dad, or whatever the situation. I think we're under the circumstances that now that for sure Emma's dad is her dad, that he was involved in some way. Now we saw flashbacks, or we saw hallucinations, or if it was, we're not still not 100% sure whether she saw her dad or not, and that was not explained. So that's still up in the air. I'm under the impression they think it was the whole time it was a hallucination, because I would think if he did show up, we would have had some talk about it.
Right.
This episode, but maybe not. Maybe we'll get more, the next episode.
Yeah.
The last episode, but yeah, I am definitely thinking I see. I'm definitely under the impression that there's more than one. That I'm stuck on that. Like I'm like just a dude. But yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
starting.
the official MTV Twitters is tweeting out, only 5 days until the killer reveal. Submit your guesses now. Hashtag who is the killer? Singular. Killer. So
Oh.
that doesn't mean anything, though, because in the world of Scream, all bets are off. There's only been one killer ever, and that was at movie 3.
So they're
The
gonna
other 3 movies
Mhm.
had 2 killers. So,
So they're planning on revealing the killer already?
uh, I don't think so. I think they're gonna pull the wool over our eyes and give us the supposed killer, or one of the killers, and then all of a sudden another killer is gonna be right around the corner. Like, I don't know.
What if there's three? Or
They
they pull some weird crazy shit and
they
it's like
could.
three people. Or everybody's killed somebody.
Everybody's a killer. I don't know. Every single one of them is the killer.
Yeah, one of them, like each one of them, like, well, this one killed this because this person killed this person, and then this person killed this person because this reason, and then so each death is from somebody else, and they all did this, like they put the mask on to make it seem like it was one person, but it wasn't.
It's like a terrible version of Clue and Who Done It and everything all rolled into one. But
Yeah.
so Noah brings out like some crazy points about Mr. Branson. He's just like, Branson, Brand's son.
Hmm.
It's like, you're stretching now, Noah.
It was pretty stretching, but then Emma was all gun ho about it. She was like, yeah, that's the truth, and she's like asking him questions in that interrogation room, like you find out who you were, and he's like, what?
It's like,
And at the same time, I'm like, Emma, you're just jumping on the. You don't even know, and you're like, I'm just jumping on this, train.
he's all sitting there like, is this your big plan? You think I'm gonna like confess to one of my students?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta look at it from his point of view. I'm 100%, like, we're 100% sure now at the end of the episode, but I was going into the episode, he had nothing to do with it. They're not gonna lock the killer away the episode before the finale. Like, that's never gonna happen.
No, yeah, yeah. I don't think he. If we're under the thought process that I think there's more than one killer. I'm almost leaning towards that he's neither. He's not the killer at all. I think he is up to something. I do believe, obviously, he is hiding shit. I want to know what he's hiding. What is he, other than the fact that, he likes to date his students? What else does he got going on? Did he kill that other girl? Or was he just wrapped up in some crap? But then again, at the very end of the episode, we got all kinds of crazy shit going on that he, like, breaks
Right.
out and there's dead cops and there's blood everywhere and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced that he's completely innocent from the murder of the other girl. That's a completely separate incident, but he is completely innocent, I think, from everything going on here in Lakewood. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, so Piper, she's getting more suspicious to me. I feel like she's in on it because she's always just in the center of attention. She's always the one leading the investigation in a certain direction. She's basically, she's the one moving the story along right now. I don't know. She's the one that I'm the most suspicious of.
Well, here I just going to throw something out of left field right now. So there are two killers, and so the one killer is the son of, Brandon James and Daisy, and then Piper's the girlfriend.
Very well could. And we know Piper has a very troubled past. Like her family. I forget the exact details of it.
Her dad was murdered.
Yeah. So we had somebody comment last week on our video, Ryozan on YouTube, said Maggie's first child can't be as old as Emma because she had him/her when she was 16 and then had Emma years later. So that means a lot of the main cast isn't it, but I'm not too sure on Karen. And then Kyle William Livingston commented and said the only person that is around the right age is Piper.
Ooh. But
So,
didn't we establish the ow? Didn't we establish that it was a son?
yes.
This well, I don't know. Okay, so we didn't. I think the last episode that it was up in the air. There wasn't official words, whether it was one or the other. This episode, when we get to conversation with his mother, she said it was his son. But how can we trust this woman who's obviously a little delusional?
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean,
I think I misspoke earlier in the episode too. This is episode 9, not episode 10. But yeah.
well, because in the middle of that conversation, she all of a sudden goes into like this hallucination, delusion, whatever the heck you want to call it, into saying that Emma is her mom,
Hmm.
and literally have the rest of the conversation as if Emma was Daisy.
Right. Now, I typically don't like doing this. So, it was kind of big news, so the only reason I'm going to do it is because it's been everywhere, whatever. But if you guys don't want to know spoilers, major, major, major spoilers from Pretty Little Liars, like, leave now. Um, I'll wave my hands like this when you can come back. Just mute it. Just don't listen, whatever. But um, this last season of Pretty Little Liars, the main killer was revealed to be transgender.
Yeah.
And they were been looking for a guy this whole time. They were under the suspicion that it was a guy,
Oh,
and then it was revealed that the guy was actually a girl. I'm not gonna say the name, so it. I don't want to. Yeah, I still don't like spoiling things, but I'm not gonna give the name. So it's just the gender was there. So I'm curious now if this, because Scream was written before the reveal from Pretty Little Liars, so I'm wondering. I don't want to say jump on the bandwagon that Pretty Little Liars was on, but what if they were in the same kind of direction?
I didn't even think about that. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible, but I'm still under the impression I think we didn't actually get a full confirmed whether it was male or female.
yeah,
Um, because I'm trying to remember. I know we talked about it last episode that we didn't know because Daisy didn't even know because she gave it up right away.
hmm
Um, and yeah, so the only thing that we've gotten was this episode, and like I said, it came from the delusional mother. So I don't know. I mean, and so far, right now, Karen is looking like he's in a big can of shit. Because I mean, he's being revealed that the whole time he's been kind of a little mysterious, and
yeah,
anyway, uh, I always wondered that something was up, but then everything started getting cute between him and him, and I kind of just like pushed it away. But he's starting to get creepy and weird again
yeah. Then we had the video that showed up on Rachel's cloud
with him and Nina.
the night before, or was it the night before or the night of?
Night before she
Night before.
died.
Yeah.
Oh.
A little suspicious, but still, I don't know. Wasn't buying it.
Yeah, I wasn't buying either. I mean, I when he first started, telling the story, I went, okay, you're at a bar. I still think you might have, done stuff. He might have threw that out and said I didn't do stuff, but that was just for Emma's sake.
Yeah.
But you know, okay, you're at a bar. You went home with some chick. It makes sense. Whatever.
Hmm.
I get it. But yeah, and I understand like, oh, I didn't say anything because it would look suspicious because it does look suspicious.
It does.
But then, it starts to get a little bit more. Again, we have the delusional mother coming in. Again, the delusional. But I think she would still make common sense of this was the guy because this is what he looked like. It's not looking good for him right now.
Yeah, because Piper brings Emma to go see Brandon's. You got me doing it now. Brandon's mom, except I'm doing it inverted than you.
Yeah.
And they're under the impression they're like, oh, was it Seth? And she's like, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, she couldn't remember her own grandchild's name. She's not all there. She's
No.
just saying, you could have said John Jangle Jingleheimer Schmidt, and she would have been like, yeah, 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 that's it. So like the first name, you should have thrown out a couple names, and if she picked that out of a lineup, then that's a little different story. But the first name you spit out, wasn't buying it.
Yeah, and now that you say that thing about Piper, she is kind of like leading things into stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
she led that whole episode, that scene there. She led Emma to her,
She led
and
Emma back to the garage where blood was written. She could have easily just taken a picture of it and been like, "Hey, look at this."
yeah, on like a phone or something.
Yeah.
And or the fact that I mean, I literally like sitting here and thinking about it. She kind of led that conversation even.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, it's making sense. Yeah, Piper's a little suspicious.
Yeah. So she comes to Emma at the dance, and kind of reveals this information. This is right after Emma confronted Kieran, and Kieran kind of stormed off, all upset that Emma wouldn't believe him, yada 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 yada. She
Hmm.
comes up with this information, and then keep in mind, Kieran was also shady, saying he had something to take care of before the dance, so he wasn't there.
Yes.
And then she goes, "Oh, I went back to Brandon's mom and went through some photos, and it wasn't Seth after all. The person she pointed out, her movie star looking grandson, was in fact Kieran."
And there's another point to bring up is the fact that yeah, the whole leading thing, but it's coming from her. We didn't see it. We didn't see this whole scene ever play out.
Mm-hmm.
So Piper could be full of shit.
She could.
So yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. Right now we're being led to believe that Kieran is involved with something. If not this, I mean, we have his dad, which from the minute like okay, so he drives out to the lake, gets there and he goes to this house. And I'm like, well, why this house? Okay, so he's just gonna go to the house. Okay, so right away it's quiet. I'm like, okay, something's up. And then he goes to the door and the door opens by itself. And I'm like, okay, so my first thought process was, okay, someone's dead. We're gonna have another death, and it's gonna be someone's in the house, and they're gonna be dead, or like the whole family's gonna be dead. That was my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts walking around the house. I'm like, okay, walking around the house. And then this moment, you notice the laptop on the counter with all of the videos from like all over. It's not just, it looks like street cams.
Right.
It's literally watching the entire city from this laptop. I'm like, oh boy, what did you just get yourself into? So I'm like, okay, totally scratched that whole someone's gonna die. Well, someone's already dead thought process. And
Mm-hmm.
then boom, there's our killer. So
Yeah. So the sheriff was knocked out, bloodied up, beaten, and tied to a tree. That's
yeah.
revealed at the end in the dance. He's So I don't want to rule the sheriff out either. Um, I feel because the killer always, or killers in the Scream movies, one of them usually ends up being a victim or bait, or plays possum, at some
Yeah.
point. And we really haven't had that with any other character other
Jake.
than Jake.
Yeah, Jake is the only other person that we had
But
played bait.
Jake seems too suspicious to me.
Too suspicious.
Too suspicious. Like he's really shady.
He
Just
is
the
really
way
shady.
he talks. Like
I've been saying he's shady. He
yeah,
is
so
shady.
that's the whole thing. Is it with the Scream movies, I'm just going by the movies. It's never the obvious.
Well, no, it isn't. It's always a surprise.
Yeah. So
I
the two roles, if you look at all the Scream movies, in every single movie, the two roles that have never been the killer is the detective
mhm.
and the reporter. Just saying.
Let's pull something out of left field.
Yeah.
No, because yeah, the reporter in the Scream movies, the
Gail.
Courtney Cox's character,
Gail
uh,
Weathers.
yeah, all through is like the other technical, somewhat survivor-ish, because she is usually like knee deep in crap because she's dumb, but
Yeah, and then Deputy Dewey,
Dude,
he's never been involved. Like you look at it and you could be like, oh well, there was Randy. Um, well, guess what? Scream 4, the Randy replacement, the movie buff, he
mhm,
was the killer.
mhm.
Sydney. Oh, yeah, her cousin. She basically was Sydney in that movie. She's the
Yeah.
killer, right? So you can't go with Emma. That's too obvious now. The first movie we had Billy Loomis. We had the boyfriend. Okay,
Yeah.
Karen seems too obvious. They're setting it up like it's too obvious. I don't think it's Karen.
I don't think it is Karen, but I think Karen is. I think there it looks like they might like lead it into that direction, but it looks
Mm,
like they're framing people. Whoever is
right,
the killer, they're framing people left and right.
right.
So it's not only throwing off the audience, they're throwing off each other. So I definitely think because I know it's obvious that this killer is playing. I mean, he's playing a game. That's an obvious, but he's playing into everyone's fears and what knowledge and everything.
Well, keep
Like I
this
said
in mind
before,
too. Keep this in mind because this is something you probably overlooked and didn't really think much of. The very beginning, the opening scene, evidence room.
hmm
It's locked.
yeah. Oh,
They
he
knew the
just
code.
they knew the code.
They knew the code. In the stairwell, there was a key card needed to open the door. Key
Oh,
card, code, inside job, sheriff. Just saying.
body frame wise, it didn't look like the sheriff. So I'm thinking there's an accomplice.
Could
Like
be.
if that's the direction we're going, I mean, the sheriff could easily give another person the information.
And I can't really tell if Piper has a bust or not on her because she's always wearing, you know, like power suits, I guess. So it's really hard to tell. Um,
Of course, you could always just tape yourself.
yeah, so I mean there's something she could have done that. I mean, it's not like they made us stare at the killer or whoever snuck into the evidence room's chest through the whole thing. It was just like
Oh
quick
no, very quick.
glimpses. So
Nice security guard, by the way.
yeah.
That's like,
So I don't know. I'm under the impression that it's Piper and the sheriff. Those are my guesses for the killer, and you're not going to convince me otherwise.
okay. I'm all over the place. You told me. I'm getting a vibe from this person, and I'm getting a vibe from this person. I mean, I do obviously see the shadiness going on, here, and shadiness with Jake, and obviously Will is no longer involved because rest in peace is.
Rest in pieces. Yeah, it's just these movies. The obvious I always look out, and I mean that's something else that they could switch up on us is make it the obvious because that's something you really like. You expect it, but you wouldn't expect it because you're conditioned not to expect the expected. So you have to expect the unexpected.
It's
So
Noah.
by expecting the unexpected leaves the expected in plain sight.
It's Noah.
And if you followed that, you're amazing.
I did follow that.
I was trying to lose you, just for the record.
Sorry. Yep. But that was I'm playing with because the led into next episode showing stuff, and I'm like it's Noah. Noah's a killer. I don't I
I
actually
don't
don't
think it's Noah.
I don't think it is either. But that was just me being goofy.
Yeah. You have anything else for us for this episode?
No, I think we pretty much covered all of the ins and outs and things.
All of the ins and outs and things.
Bedspread.
Beds spread. Spread bed.
Threads bed.
Yes. So, the finale, season 1 finale of Scream, whatever.
Great.
Next episode is called Revelations, and it is next week. Emma races to save another loved one. The killer's identity is revealed.
Dun dun dun. Wow, so we're actually. I mean, can they really reveal it that quick? Okay, this is okay. That's the route they're going. If they're going okay, we're gonna reveal a killer, as thus as there's more than one, and we get the identity of one of them.
That's what I'm
And next-
thinking. Or we're gonna get their name or something, and then not get the person, because we'll get like whatever. Because they could have changed their name, and then we'll get the killer is somebody, and they'll be like, who the hell is that? You know?
Some name out of left
Yeah.
field. Or something.
I mean, that would reveal the killer, technically. You know?
Yeah, I guess. I guess it would.
I mean, then there's nothing to say that our killer has not had plastic surgery, you know, or any other kind of surgery to change their identity.
Like they get the DNA and they're like, oh, it's this person, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Emma's mom is the killer.
Yeah, Emma's mom is
what?
the killer.
What? Plot twist, Emma's mom is her own son. What? Stranger things have happened. Or have they? I don't know anymore.
Emma's actually a boy.
I'm so confused. Kim, where can the people find you?
And HUFFITY,
You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. You can also find the two of us and others on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows.
Really need to get it checked out.
Yeah. Until next week, where I will be back with throat lozenges.
Ooh, lozenges.
Lozenges. Bedspread. See you next week.
All the S's.